Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Micah Parsons on Cowboys' mind-boggling road struggles. Honestly, it's unacceptable at this point. The Dallas Cowboys continue to struggle away from the comforts of AT&T Stadium, getting their doors blown off, 31-10, in Buffalo on Sunday afternoon. The Cowboys fell to 3-4 on the road with a 7-0 mark at home. Blame for the latest road loss can't be placed on the weather, which was pretty tame for Buffalo in mid-December, or the turf. The dichotomy with how the Cowboys perform outside of Texas is baffling at this point. It's a gap, and that's part of my message, Coach Mike McCarthy said after the loss, via the team's official website. We play so well at home. There's just too big of a gap on our road games. We're conscious of it, and we've got a long flight home to think about it, and to talk about it. We've got to move on to Miami in the morning, and get this one corrected, but, yes, we've got to be better. Dallas has a -4-point differential on the road in 2023, 14th in the NFL, while leading the league with a +171-point differential at home in 2023. The defense got run over by James Cook and the Bills, forcing just 2 punts on 7 non-end-of-half drives and allowing Buffalo to churn out 28 first downs. Early in the season, Dallas laid an egg in Arizona. They got blown out in San Francisco. They played close in Philadelphia in Week 9 but made just enough mistakes to lose on the road. Then came Sunday's debacle. Honestly, it's unacceptable at this point, linebacker Micah Parsons said. There's no excuse for it. It's mind-boggling and I don't understand why we're not playing well, and why we're not coming together on the road. We've something we need to look at and get better at, because we're back on the road next week. The Cowboys' only road wins this season have come in a Week 1 shellacking versus the 5-win Giants, a 3-point Week 6 win over the LA Chargers who just fired their coach and GM, and a Week 11 blowout of the 2-win Panthers. Dallas, which saw its lead in the NFC East slip away ahead of Monday Night Football, has a big road date with the Miami Dolphins on Christmas Eve before closing the season with Detroit at home and Washington in D.C. Dak Prescott's play has underscored the Cowboys' road struggles. Sunday, he generated 134 passing yards and an interception on 21 of 34 passing, marking his first game in 2023 with 0 passing touchdowns and 1 INT, and his second career game with fewer than 140 passing yards and no TDs, minimum 10 attempts. In 7 road games this season, Prescott's completion percentage dips 10.8 points compared to home, 63.2 versus 74. His yards per game of 216.3 is 87.3 fewer than at home. His TDINT ratio is 8-5 on the road and 20-2 at home, and his passer rating, sitting at 122.5 in home tilts, plummets 38.3 points to 84.2. It's a huge difference and, really, that's what these next couple weeks are about, is figuring out that difference, and trying to close that gap, Prescott said of the road struggles. We want to come out and start how we do at home, and that's just not been the case. We've got to find out what those answers are. We can't be two different teams, winning at home against a good team last week and then come out here today and not get anything done in all 3 phases. Cowboys' Zack Martin thinks he may be able to play next week after his injury. The Dallas Cowboys suffered a major loss when they were beaten 31-10 by the Buffalo Bills. Luckily, it looks like they didn't suffer another major loss. When Zack Martin came up lame during the game and was seen on the sideline with large wrap around his leg, Cowboys Nation became extremely worried. The idea of playing the rest of the season and/or playoffs without Martin was a sobering thought. Fortunately, Martin doesn't think the injury is that serious. I got hit. We went to the tent, and it just didn't fire up for me, Martin said. Yeah, kind of a fluke thing I guess. His quadriceps took a direct hit from Gregory Rousseau's helmet, and Martin said he initially thought he injured his knee. I'm hoping this week, treat it and get it ready to go on Sunday. I feel good about that, Martin said, via John Machota of TheAthletic.com. TJ Bass came into the game in Martin's absence and was serviceable, but the Cowboys need their all-pro right guard back as soon as possible. The Cowboys will want to be careful with Martin, but given his reaction to the injury, even Coach Mike McCarthy feels optimistic. They are thinking Martin will go next week on the road at the Dolphins. The really good news is he avoided a knee injury. I thought I maybe did something with my knee there the way it got hit, Martin said. We went back and checked it out, luckily my knee was stable and felt good. I got hit deep in the quad. Bill's big rushing day behind James Cook shows growth of offense. The game appeared largely out of reach. Up 24-3 with 12:36 remaining in the fourth quarter, the Buffalo Bills were well on their way to finishing off a convincing performance at home against the Dallas Cowboys. After an impressive catch by wide receiver Stefon Diggs on 3rd and 8 and a 12-man on the field penalty on Dallas, quarterback Josh Allen handed the ball off to running back James Cook on 1st and 5 from the Cowboys' 24-yard line. He darted through a crowd of linemen, past a variety of additional Cowboys defenders, and then flipped his way into the end zone. "I just did it again," Cook said on using the celebration for a second straight week. "I don't know, I don't have a celebration, so I did it." Whatever the reason, the flip served as an exclamation point for Cook's work and on the Bills' day. The first-team offense did not play another snap. The Bills' running game had its best performance under coach Sean McDermott in the 31-10 win over the Cowboys. The team finished with 266 rushing yards, and 179 of those came from Cook. He finished with 25 carries, averaging 7.2 yards per attempt, with a rushing score, in addition to 2 receptions for 42 yards with a receiving touchdown. "Everything," tight end Dawson Knox said when asked what Cook did to be successful. "He's just a hell of a player, so giving him any space, giving him matchups on the outside in the pass game." Interim offensive coordinator Joe Brady does an awesome job scheming that up, and then the O-linemen do a fantastic job, open up the holes for him. He's got crazy vision, too, so he's going to bounce it wherever he sees it. The Bills' playoff odds moved to 62% with Sunday's win, per ESPN Analytics. A short week awaits with a trip to play the Los Angeles Chargers on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Peacock, followed by games against AFC East rivals the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. After a stretch of the season when the playoffs seemed out of reach for this team, the path and ability to make it there has never been clearer. Winning out gives the Bills, 8-6, the best chance at making the playoffs, with a chance at catching the Dolphins, 10-4, still intact. Getting there will require Buffalo building off this performance, including a Cook-led running game that has jumped significantly since the team changed coordinators over a month ago. "We understand what position we're in right now," Allen said. "We gotta win games. It doesn't matter how we get them done. We just trusted our guys up front and trusted our backs to make plays, and they did." While Allen said it wasn't necessarily the team's plan entering the week to run it at that level, rookie right guard O'Cyrus Torrence noted that the Bills were aware of how good the Cowboys' pass rush is, and that staying out of third-and-long situations would be important. Once the game started, the Bills realized they could run the football against Dallas and kept pushing it. Buffalo was able to put together a 12-play drive, 2 11-play drives, a 15-play drive and then the final 6-play touchdown drive, controlling the time of possession for 35:05. "I'm used to seeing that look in Cook's eye, just gimme the ball and I'm going to get some yards no matter what type of blocking, what type of play it is," Torrence said. "He just had that look, no matter whether it's run or pass, and that's just what we need out of him and everybody else, and so far, that's what we're getting." The season has been far from perfect for Cook, 24. Veteran Latavius Murray has started over him at times, and drops have been an issue in the passing game for Cook, including on a likely touchdown catch versus the Cowboys. But with Brady taking over the play calling, an increased emphasis on getting the ball in Cook's hands is clear and has meant good things for this team. Cook is averaging 141 scrimmage yards in the 4 games since McDermott fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. His touches have increased from 14.4 per game to 21, with his rushing yards per game up to 88.3 from 61.5 with Dorsey calling plays. Cook's touchdowns have doubled from 2 in the first 10 games to 4 in the last 4. "Give Joe credit there, too," McDermott said. "Stick with it, and when it's working, why get away from it, right? Whether it's the pass or the run. The run was working for us." Cook is the first Bills running back with receiving touchdowns in back-to-back games since Thurman Thomas in 1995, and is now third in the NFL in scrimmage yards per game, 100.1. And you fan, what do you think of the James Cook situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.